Whoever is accepted, it's a free tuition scholarship, free feeding, free, basically free everything. Yeah.
Hey everyone, how y'all doing? I hope y'all are doing fine. Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Aladi Ako and you're welcome to my channel. In today's video, as you all can see, we have a special guest with us, and I'm going to give her the opportunity to introduce herself soon. But before we move on, please do not forget to like this video, comment, subscribe, share with your family members and your enemies too. Anyway, our guest, welcome. Thank you so much for coming here to share your stories. I would like you to tell us your name, your uni, your course of study, just a brief introduction about yourself.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Chineye, who is Chineye, and I actually attended Berea College, which is a school located in Kentucky. And I studied computer science. I actually did a double major in computer science and technology and applied design. Yeah, and I live in Georgia, USA.
Welcome. So, beautiful. I didn't know you studied computer science. You're in Texas.
Texas. Okay. Yeah.
welcome, O'Shea.
Badass.
So yeah, wow, I'm so proud. I'm proud right now. Anyway, you guys, we've been dying to have an undergrad person on this channel. Now you have her. And Nanya, once again, I want to say thank you for stopping by. So we're gonna get into the interview right now. I want you to tell us about this school. What's it about? Do your thing.
The right thing. Okay, yeah. So, like I mentioned when I was introducing myself, Berea College is a school located in Kentucky, USA. And the thing about Berea is that whoever is accepted into Berea the international students that are accepted into Berea gets full tuition scholarship. And it's not just the full tuition, it's like full tuition, free accommodation, free feeding. So you're basically going to school for free. In my 4.5 years that I studied in Berea, the only thing that I paid for was taxes, because Berea also gives you a job on campus. So the only thing I had to pay for was the taxes for the job that I had on campus. But yeah, Berea is free everything for whoever is accepted. But yeah, it's the acceptance that's where the main problem is. But yeah.
Okay. That sounds so good to be true, but yeah.
People usually say that because in America it's everything you have to pay for it, but Berea is whoever is accepted, it's a free tuition scholarship, free feeding, free, basically free everything. Yeah. And also if going to add on to this right now, when I was in Berea, actually I was able to travel to more than half of the states in the US, and a lot of them were through conferences, and those conferences Berea also cover it. So it's like you're going to school for free. You're able to get a lot of other perks, not just studying in school, but you're also able to like I mentioned, go to conferences. I have friends that studied abroad in Berea. Berea paid for that. So when I say studied abroad, these are international students that are actually studying in Berea, and then they went to Japan or a different country and studied there for a semester or a month, just depending on how long the study abroad time is. And Berea still pays for that. So it's a school that if you get into it, it gives you a lot of opportunities.
Wow, that's amazing. So thank you. We're gonna look at the requirements part, because we need to know what do you have to do to be accepted, what do they require of you, and stuff like that.
So right now the application for Berea is open. So whoever wants to apply to Berea, you can go right now and actually apply for next year. That's 2023, right? So for international students, these are the requirements. It's easy. You can do it by yourself. You don't need any agent. Personally, I did it by myself, and I did it when I was a teenager. So I'm just saying this so you understand that it's an actual easy process that you don't need to pay anybody for. So the first thing you do, you just go to Google, you type in apply to Berea as an international student. It's gonna pull up like Berea's website and some other links. You go to Berea's website, and in there you're going to see apply as an international student. But the requirements, the things that you need is you need to complete the application form. So the online application is in Standout, right? There's like an online application form called in Standout, and then you go there, you fill in like your profile, you fill in some other requirements. The other thing you need is your personal essay. So this essay should be about 2 to 5 pages, right? And it should cover like, it should cover your life up to that extent. It should cover why you want to come to Berea. Like, what is Berea going to do for you? Why is it that you want to come to Berea as opposed to other schools? And saying just, because it's a free tuition, that's not really like a good, reason. But yeah, the essay should be 2 to 5 pages. You talk about also your finances, because something else about Berea is that Berea is not looking for like students that their fathers are senators or like people that can afford $50,000 a year in the US. Berea is looking for somebody that is holistic, and is also not looking for somebody that is like, a straight A student just like that. I'm not saying your results should not be good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying your transcript should not be good, but it's looking for somebody that all is well-rounded. So both in your academics, both in your leadership, both in everything that you have been doing in your life so far. So the essay is also going to ask you whether you intend to return back to your country or you don't intend to return back to your country. And honestly, I'm just going to say, be as frank as possible. Like, you don't have to like lie on your essay or anything, right? Be as frank as possible. When you say, I want to return to my country, give the reason why, because some people don't want to return back to their country. If you don't want to return back to your country, also give the reason why. Like, why is it that after schooling in Berea, you don't want to return back to your country? What is the US going to do for you, right? You also like list some of the leadership stuff you've done and some of the volunteer stuff you've done, because Berea also wants to see that you're not just coming to take. They also see that you've given back to the community. So for me, actually, in my personal essay, some of the things that I wrote, I talked about like financial circumstances. So me, I come from like an average Nigerian home. Like, my dad is not a senator or whatever, just like an average, mom is like a professor, dad businessman kind of home, right? So I also wrote about, and if you're coming from that kind of home, I mean, your family is not really going to afford to pay like $50,000 a year to study in the US, if we're being frank, especially with the exchange rates between Naira and dollar. So, I kind of also wrote that. And also with the exchange rates between Naira and dollar, even if your parents are earning like, let's say 12 million Naira a year, that is still, I checked that with an exchange rate of 650, that is still about $20,000 per year, which is poverty level in the US. So even though in Nigeria it might look like you guys are like balling or something, that's not really like, I guess, like a rich thing here in the US. So you can talk about that in your personal essay. If there is like a personal circumstance that made you, maybe you were not able to complete your high school when you were supposed to complete it, or maybe your father died or your father lost his job. And also with the pandemic issue, you guys know like the pandemic cost a lot of people their jobs. List that in your personal essay. Say how it affects you, right? Because the thing is, putting this out there, and not to scare anybody, but Berea receives about 1,000 applications from international students per year. And Berea accepts only 1% per country. Just 1%. Yeah, it is that competitive. The acceptance rate is only 33%. It accepts only about 30 to 31 or 32 international students a year. During my set, he actually accepted 2. Myself and my friend, a guy, he's very low-key. He's not really on social media and stuff. But the thing is, that's because Nigeria is really populated. Other countries is just 1 person. So your personal essay, you're not the only person applying to Berea. So your personal essay has to like really show that you have something to offer. So something else I also, going back to my personal essay, apart from the financial circumstance, something else I also wrote was how I was giving back to my community. And the way that happened was because in my family, we are religious, and going to church on Saturdays, not just on Sundays, like Saturdays to like clean. I would talk about how I would follow my mom to go. I would volunteer to do this in church. Nobody would want to do this in church. I would volunteer to do that. So that's showing that I'm actually, giving back to the community in that way. Now, if you're also like in clubs, it doesn't just have to be in school, maybe like in church or whatever. You can also talk about, maybe you have like a club in church where you're leading, or a club in school where you're leading. You can also talk about that, right? That's Berea just wants to see that you're a well-rounded person. So that's for the personal AC. When you're actually applying to Berea and it comes to the personal AC section, it will give you a prompt. So some of these things that I've actually talked about, it will give you some of these things as a prompt to write. But I just want you guys to know that your personal essay is one of the main ways where the weed out, like, I guess, the wheat from the wheat. That's the right saying, right? I think so. But yeah, that's your personal essay is where like many of the weeding happens. It's kind of like, give an example, it's kind of like, a resume. A resume is just a piece of paper. You might be like the best person, but if you're writing like a cover letter and maybe the employee is actually seeing you for who you are, it kind of helps to separate you from other people. So the two things I've talked about is the online application and your personal essay. The next thing that you need to apply to Berea is the copy of your high school transcripts, right? So like that has to include like, for me, what I put in my WAEC results, and I went to my high school and they gave me an official actual high school transcript. I still have it in my document. So on those transcripts, it's not going to be like 90 or 100 that is going to be there. It's going to be actually, instead of number grades, it's going to be letter grades. So it's going to show like A, B, whichever thing you got there. And then also my WAEC. Those were the things that I put in there. So a copy of your official high school transcript is needed. Then another thing that is needed is 2 teacher recommendation forms. So we have to, when it comes to the letters of recommendation from your teachers, you also have to go to a teacher that, like, don't go to someone that is going to mess you up, please. Like, don't go to someone that you don't have a good relationship with. Go to someone that is going to hype you up, is going to, like, tell all the good deeds that you've done, is going to tell how intelligent you are and how you do well in class, and even not just doing well in class, but you're ready to, I guess, just somebody that highlights all your good qualities, basically. So that's also something else that is needed. Another thing that is needed is your financial resource form. So that's like, it's kind of like a financial document thing that it has to be completed by somebody that knows you. So it can be completed like by a religious head, by an employer. Actually, I think it can also be completed by a teacher, right? For me, actually, my religious head was the person that completed mine. So we went to my reverend, who, of course, like I mentioned, my family is very religious. So we're like everybody knew us in church. So my reverend also knew us and could attest to, our financial resources and stuff. So that was who I went to fill that in for me. Then the next thing you also need is your standardized test scores. So it can be SAT, because now people are like, oh, can I submit IELTS? Can I do? This is what you need. It can be SAT, it can be ACT, it can be IELTS, it can be TOEFL, and it can be Duolingo. So for me, during my own time, I submitted my SAT, but I think during that time, Berea was even only accepting SAT, ACT, and TOEFL, if I'm not mistaken. But they started accepting Duolingo about 2 years ago. And right now, with the condition of Nigeria and like with the exchange rate, I think Duolingo will be the best because it's not as expensive as taking SAT. SAT, I'm not very sure how much SAT is right now, but Duolingo is, I think Duolingo should be about $50 to take, which is much cheaper than if you're taking SAT or ACT. And also, something I forgot to talk about was when you're going to get your transcripts, people do ask me if I paid. Yes, I actually paid when I went to my high school to take my transcripts. Then I paid 50,000 naira, which was in 2014. I don't know how much it is going to be right now, depending on your high school. But yeah, so those are the things that you need to apply to Berea. Those are the requirements you need to submit to apply to Berea. And the good thing is now everything is online. When I was applying, it was you had to actually mail it via DHL, which was another expense. But yeah, so they've actually made it easier right now.
Wow, it's kind of interesting that they have like all these options, SAT, TOEFL, like, okay.
Yeah, they made it easier.
SAT has math, the other ones don't have math. For those who are scared of like math.
You just go and take Duolingo. Yes. That's why, because somebody was telling me that they took SAT and IELTS and I think Duolingo or something. And they were like, which one should they submit? And I said, if you compare the three of them, whichever one you feel like you did perfect in, like the one you got the highest score, submit that one. If you got like a low score, because SAT right now is over 1,600. When I was taking SAT, it was out of 2,400. So if you're taking SAT right now out of 1,600 and you scored like 1,500, that is a score that people use to get into Stanford. Yeah, so if you have that kind of score, go ahead and submit it. But if you got something like 800 in your SAT, and you know you did better on your Duolingo, better go and submit your Duolingo. Don't go submit something.
Exactly. Yeah. So my last question for you would be, what sets your application apart? Like, you know, like you said, that's very competitive. Like for every country, like picking one person, and for your time, you know, being one of those people, or because I think you mentioned you guys were two or something. So like, what is the secret recipe for the ingredients?
Personally, I would say, at least from what I know, I would say the secret recipe was the personal essay, because I know there were people that scored higher than me in my SAT during my time, but that's why I keep reiterating on really work on your personal essay. That's the thing that sets you apart, that they see, okay, this person is an actual human, not just a piece of paper. When I was doing research and everything, I did research on this also. And I watched some Berea College videos from Berea itself, like from the school itself, the admissions, like the admissions committee. Yes. And she said the exact same thing that I'm talking about right now. Your personal essay is like where they really see you for who you are. I mean, of course, you can talk about anything in your personal essay. They do give you the prompts, but you have to like actually make sure that it's something that, you know, like that brings out your personality. Like, don't just go there and type in, oh, the reason why I love umbrellas. And then maybe you talk about, just personalize it. Make it about yourself, showing like, you know, your good qualities, showing who you are in general, showing how you give back to the community. Also showing your financial circumstance, because like I mentioned, Berea's mission is targeting Appalachian regions. So that shows you like Berea is not looking for people that are already, you know, like well-made, or people that, like I mentioned before, can spend $50,000 a year to go to. Yeah, Berea is looking for that student that needs help, but they know that they would not be able to like get help if they're not helped by Berea. So also something else I even added in my AC, I kind of talked about how it's always been my dream to study in the US, and how like if this opportunity would be, if I don't get it, I wouldn't be able to get any other like opportunities. So yeah, that was something that I'm gonna say kind of like set my AC apart, or set my application apart. The personal essay is like the secret ingredient. Work really hard on your personal essay. Yes.
All right. So after your application is done, like you've submitted it and all that, like what are the next steps? You know, is there anything we need to know?
If you've submitted your application, there's really no next steps. It's just for you to wait. But something else I should add is that there are 2 application deadlines. So there is something called the early action decision, and then there is also something called the regular decision. So the early action is like people that submitted the application. So Berea College applications open in August every year, right? So if you submit your application between August and October 15th, that is early action decision. So early action decision is when the admission committee, they actually, it kind of like gives you a leg up, right? But let me say this. If you miss the early action decision, that doesn't mean you're not going to get admitted. I did not apply for early action decision in my time, and I was still able to get admitted. But the thing is, early action kind of gives you like a leg up as opposed to regular admission. So regular admission is after October 15th has passed, and between October 15th and January 15th, that's the deadline for regular decision for international students. So if you submitted your application during any of those times, for early action, you get notified in mid-December. So maybe around December 14, 15, 16, 17. That's when you get notified if you got accepted or not. Now, for regular decision, you get notified of their decision around, I believe, March, middle of March. Yes, mid-March. So remember, the deadline for early action is October 15th, and the early action for, and then the application deadline for regular decision is January 15th.
Thanks for clarifying that. I think when we're having a conversation, you mentioned about payment or something like that. So what do they need to know about that?
Yes. Again, like I said, if you guys remember what I said earlier, Berea is free for international students that get admitted. But usually when you're applying, like during your application process, they're going to ask you that you would have to make a deposit of $2,200. So that's $2,200. And then they will ask you, oh, how much are you able to pay out of the $2,200? Now, people are usually like, oh, you said Berea doesn't require anything. How come they're asking us to pay? This is not Berea eating your money, please. Like, Berea is not eating your money or anything. This is for emergency fee for the 4 years that you're in Berea, right? So now, remember that Berea is paying your tuition, your feeding, and your accommodation. But then maybe during your 4 years, there could be an emergency back home where you might have to like do a quick travel back to your country, right? I've seen it happen. Or you might have to like go to like the ER, that's the emergency room, or like the hospital or something. There could be like, we never know. It's a whole 4 years. So that money is for that emergency. Like that money you pay to the international admissions. Sorry, it's the international office that holds that money, and they don't even like do anything with that money as long as you don't touch it. Like it's your money, right? And then after graduation, you're giving that money back. So whatever you spent from that money, let's say you paid in $2,200 and you spent only $200 in your 4 years, they're going to give you $2,000 back. I got mine back when I graduated because I didn't really use mine. But yeah, that money is just for emergency fee. Berea is not eating your money. Berea has like so much money in the endowments that, I mean, everything is free. Again, like I mentioned, the only thing that you have to like pay is because of your taxes, which that's not Berea's fault. That's the US government that is taxing you because you're working on the Berea campus. Okay. Yes.
So I'm kind of like, probably I lost you there. You have to pay the money during the application or after you are accepted?
No. After you're accepted, please. Okay. Yeah. No, it's only after you're accepted. If you're not accepted in Berea, you don't need to pay that money. So basically, when you're applying, they're going to ask you a question. They're going to ask you if you're able to make the $2,200 deposit and how much you're actually able to deposit. Because they know that people that are applying to Berea are like people from like low income background. Mm-hmm. So they'll usually ask. During my time, it was like, if you can't even pay the whole $2,200, you can put in that the amount you can pay is only $1,000, right? Or is only $1,500. And sometimes if you're not even able to pay for everything, you can really collaborate. That's only if you're accepted. This is only if you're accepted. You can collaborate with like the admissions office. You explain this and this to them. Berea is always willing to work with you, especially when it comes to money issues, right? As long as you're their students. We're not talking about people that are just applying. We're saying as long as, you know, at this point you've gotten the application and, you know, you've been accepted. So, and also something else I forgot to add is that Berea actually doesn't take any application fee.
I was going to ask you.
Yes.
Oh, really? Yeah, I was literally going to say, Is there an application fee?
No, there is no application fee.
Perfect.
Yeah, so for those schools that are like, oh, $50 per application, no, there's no application fee.
Perfect. No application fee.
Yeah, there's no application fee.
I am nudged to ask you this. Are you an ambassador for Berea?
That like so many people are
let us know what we're dealing with.
No. Because so many people are like, I always see you talking Berea.
You're preaching the gospel.
Yeah, people are like, I've seen you on this person's channel, I've seen you on that person's channel. Are you like who presents? I mean, at this point, they should just make me the ambassador. Like, at this point,
I feel you. Like, yes, you should be paid.
Because I'm out here preaching the gospel and like literally, I don't know. I'm not like I have told so many people and helped so many people in their Berea applications. I don't help anymore because it's it's a lot. Yeah. But I have helped. It's just because growing up as a teenager, I never, like, when I was young, my mom actually was a person that told me this. Apparently, I had told her when I was 10 that I was not going to study in Nigeria. She saw that like in her there one time she was reading, and I've never really wanted to like study. I've always wanted to like, study in the US. And when I was in like SS2, SS3 in Nigeria, I started looking for ways. And like I said, I'm just like from an average income background in Nigeria. So it's not like my dad is a senator or something that I can't just, they can't just like pay $50,000 or whatever for me like that. So I had to find ways, and Berea kind of like just gave me that opportunity. Like, we all know the country we come from. We all know how Nigeria is not like Canada that like you can travel to other countries. It's not like the UK that you can travel to like other countries in Europe or something. We all know the way Nigeria is for an average family. So it's like I just want people to know that this opportunity is out there. A lot of people don't really know that this opportunity is out there. Yeah. A lot of people don't know, because whenever I say, "Oh, I went to
undergrad," yes. It's a gem.
It's a gem. No, it's an actual gem. It's an actual gem. So I just want, because like I said, Berea changed my life, and I know that there are people out there that need this opportunity. So if I'm, able to like impact someone just by talking about Berea and like, I feel like, I'm fulfilled that way, because again, like I said, it changed my life. Berea gives you, like, it gives you so much. I traveled to more than 25 states in the US. A lot of them were through conferences from Berea. I wasn't really able to travel abroad, even though I had the opportunities, because I have a green passport. But I have friends that were able to do that, and that's courtesy of Berea. It's just, it's a good opportunity, and I feel like people should just know about it.
Oh, that's so nice. It's good, like, not holding information, like, helping other students who, they need this opportunity to reach their full potential. So thank you. That's so emotional. Okay, so I think at this point I have a few probably questions that I want to like, ask for clarity. So I'm going to say this scholarship is 100%, right? Just from everything you're saying. And you mentioned that they give you jobs, you work for.
Yes, you get a job.
So what kind of job, for someone who's curious, like what kind of job?
Berea campus. Berea campus itself. Actually, almost everything in Berea is actually run by the students, if that makes sense. So there are jobs ranging from facilities. So facilities like cleaning. That's usually freshman year. That's usually the kind of job they give you. But like your sophomore year, you're able to apply for a job yourself. So when you're coming in as a freshman, they actually place you in a position depending on your application, like what you said in your personal essay. Some people in their personal essay, they might say they're very good in like computer programming. If that's you, they could place you to work with the IS&S. So that's the
IT guys.
Yeah, the IT guys.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. I can't remember the full meaning in Berea, but yeah, they could place you there. So they are like on campus. There's like all kinds of job you can think of. So like I mentioned about the cleaning. I mentioned, okay, there's also the RA, that's the resident assistant. So you're kind of overseeing the dorm, I guess, like a floor on the dorm they give you. There's also the TA, so you're like a teaching assistant. There's also like working in the library. I worked in the library for a summer. There's also the grounds people. Those are also like facilities. I think that's facilities management. So facilities assistant is the cleaners, and then facilities management is like the groundskeeping people. So making sure like, I mean, there are trees and everything, there are leaves, so cleaning that up. There's also the convocation ushers. I also worked as a convocation usher for, I think, 2 semesters. I think, yeah, for like 1 year. I mean, these people are like making sure you're not like sleeping during convocations. You're actually like listening. You're not, because you're required to attend 7 convocations. So they like, what is it? They beep your card to show that you register, like your ID.
Attendance.
Yeah, like how they give you your ID in school, right? Yeah. So they beep that to show that you attended the convocation. So, what other jobs? Oh yes, accounting. Yeah, you can also work as like an accounts manager kind of thing. These are people that are usually the people that their majors are usually like an accounting major. So you can work. I did that for a summer actually. Yeah, I think I did. I can't remember, but I worked as an accounts person also. So you can also do that. There are really a lot of jobs on campus. So basically the school itself, not like the school is run by students, but like so many of the jobs are is the students that work a lot of the jobs. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I guess the thing now is see the opportunity, see your application.
Exactly.
That's the bridge.
Exactly. I want to say, like, whoever gets into Berea for next year, like, honestly, contact, because I would really want to, like, that school changed my life.
The message, so.
Yeah.
So this video is not sponsored, so you guys.
Hey, I wish it was sponsored even, honestly, because that would mean I'm making money.
Yeah, and for me too, that I'm bringing her to my channel to talk about this school. Please, we are not sponsored.
It's not sponsored.
So it's just she's doing the work of the Lord, giving back to her community. Okay.
Yes, giving back.
That's the thing you're doing. Mm-hmm. So we talked about the personal essay. We talked about application fee. So I think I'm good at this point. This is not a visa video. We have so many visa videos. Okay, so you guys go and check out our other videos on this channel talking about visa. So I like this video to just be dedicated to this because it's actually very, very, very important. So Nanya, thank you so much. And as a tradition, I usually ask my guests to give advice, closing speech, like, all those.
what kind of advice? Is it
last words, like, encouragement, like, the danger. What do you have to say? Really anything, sir?
Well, what I have to say is,
for your viewers all over the world.
Hey, all over the world. Okay, now, this is just me and you talking right now, but now you said viewers. I'm like, oh, okay, probably 20,000 people might watch this.
You don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to say if you do get into Berea, whoever gets into Berea, take advantage of the free opportunities. America is a very capitalist country. Nobody gives you anything for free in this country. So if you find a place that they're giving it to you for free, take advantage of it. Like, really, grab it.
Grab your offer now.
Really, buy to get one free. But yeah, I'm actually being serious with that. Really, like, take advantage of it. For those that are not able to get into Berea, because again, like I mentioned, Berea is very competitive. If you're applying, don't just apply to just Berea. If you have a good SAT score, remember I said SAT is out of 1,600 and you have something like $1,400, $1,500, that can give you full ride scholarship in a lot of schools in the US. That's a video that's like a different video going into that. But I just wanted to put it out there. Like, if you're applying, don't just apply to only Berea. Try to apply to other schools, especially if you have like a really good SAT score and really good transcripts. Also, something else I'm going to say is if you're finally able to actually make it into the US, whether through Berea or not through Berea, the US has a lot of opportunities when you compare to other countries, even like developed countries. It has like so many scholarships. Do research. Like, and when I'm saying do research, I'm not saying like master's research. I'm saying like really like go out there and look for opportunities. It might look like there are not much opportunities for international students, but if you look, you would find. And trust me, like if you use like your time well in this country, the sky is, what is it they say? The sky is your starting point. Yes. And I'm being, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna say.
Thank you. Thank you, our wonderful guest. Thank you so much, ma. We appreciate it. All of you that have been crying, bring undergrad, undergrad. See.
It's funny because on my channel they've been saying bring masters.
My own is like for the past since I started my YouTube channel, it's always like, Aladi, you promise, you say you win. Anyway, and hey, that's true. Like Nenye is a YouTuber. She has a YouTube channel. So the link will just the name of her channel will be right on your screen. Do you want me to put your Instagram too?
Yeah, you can. I'll send you all the links and everything.
So Nenye's Instagram, YouTube, everything is right on your screen, and it's going to be in the description box. So check them out, and follow her channel, follow her closely. Bamba to Bamba. Follow her channel, follow her Instagram, all the to go. So yeah, they're there. I think I have nothing to say, but you guys, the drill. Then you tell them what to do. Subscribe to this channel, like the video, all that thing.
Oh my god! Don't forget, the how they even say it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And I'll see you guys in another video.
yes. And yeah, so wish you guys luck. And I share this video. All right, guys. Thank you. See you another time. Bye. It was nice doing business with you. I remain your host, Aladi Ako, and see you.